So we will let them share their strategy, and then the business owners will jump in with their concerns.
So obviously, this is just a point for you if you want to try to attempt for this year. Unos pocos puntos que queremos hacer este año, de tratar de hacer este año, a ver si van a trabajar. So we want to close the street off at 6:30 prior to 7 o'clock because we do have to get stuff in place prior. Because if we wait till 7 o'clock, they might take advantage of that situation and be like, hey, they're setting up and now the street's completely full and we pretty much obtained nothing and did nothing. Porque si esperamos hasta después de las 7 o a las 7 y no encerramos la calle luego, mejor se van a todos meter viendo lo que estamos haciendo y van a ver, no son tontos de edad, ellos saben lo que estamos haciendo, van a estar en la calle, so hay que meternos todos ahorita y no los van a poder sacar a todos. So that's the plan. The liquor store, El Charro en la 12 y Scott, esta tienda, lo que pasa es que todos van y compran alcohol ahí toda la noche, porque están abiertos hasta las 9 de la noche. So hasta las 9, las personas van y compran más alcohol y se pone más peor la noche. So the liquor store on 12th and Scott, anyone participating in this event tends to buy liquor all the way until the store closes. So they continue to buy liquor, and obviously with liquor comes liquid courage, and then people get stupid and stuff gets out of hand. That's what happened last year. A lot of people are, under the influence of alcohol, and then the gunfire starts. It kicks off. Si podemos, el Rey, si podemos cerrar las entradas a la tienda del Rey antes de las 7, si pueden nomás tener una línea donde pueden salir todos y entrar nomás por una calle. Así no podemos.
¿Por la Minero?
Sí, si la Minero va a ser mejor. Así no es la calle donde no va a ser la Chávez, donde pueden meter todos los carros. Y así no se pueden salir, entrar todavía con el negocio. Y si cierran a las 7, así no todavía pueden tener negocio. For El Rey, I suggested that, or asked if they could close off pretty much any entrances to the store, besides the mineral one. But one entrance allows vehicles in and out. They can still continue to make profit, but that way it limits any vehicles from coming into that store. Y tienen seguridad que los ayudaron el año pasado y sacaron todos los carros de allí que estaban allí y les dijeron que no tenían permiso de estar ahí y se fueron porque lo que ellos dicen todo el tiempo es que el dueño del Rey dijo que vamos a estar aquí y no podemos chequear si no tenemos el teléfono del dueño. El sargento Gloria lo conoce muy bien, so él pudo hacer una llamada, ya no le dimos permiso, los podemos sacar nosotros. What they tend to do is they tend to say that, well, the owner of this, parking lot told us we can meet here, and unfortunately, if we don't have some of the business owners' phone numbers, we can't get them out because maybe they do have permission, and now we're, getting people out that have permission to be there from the owner. But luckily, one of our sergeants is close to the owner from Milwaukee, and he was able to call him and like, nope, they don't have permission, get them out of there. So security did a really great job helping us out last year and getting those individuals out of there and squashing all that. And McDonald's, they helped us out a lot. If we can continue to close pretty much any entrance to McDonald's besides the drive-thru, so it just stays the drive-thru open. We don't want to hurt anyone's business. We want you guys to continue to make business, but the drive-thru helps us out a lot because it's in and out. You're not congregating in the parking lot. No one's hanging around there. And last year we put our mobile CP, which is a big police, as you can call the Winnebago, the big station wagon out there. So if we can have that again this year with McDonald's permission, we would like to do the same thing. So that way we can continue to operate from there, so that way we have access to all of Chávez there. So el año pasado, McDonald's ayudó mucho. Cerraron todas las entradas, menos el drive-thru, y así todos los carros entran por la Washington, por la 15 Washington, van, compran su comida y se van. Si nadie se puede parquear adentro del parqueadero y tenemos nuestro comando móvil adentro de allí y podemos trabajar de allí toda la noche. So, si el McDonald's nos quiere ayudar otra vez con eso, sí lo puedo ayudar mucho. Las trocas que venden de tacos, si a las 5, si conocen cualquier vendedor de comida ahí a las 5, si se puede mover al lado, fuera del César Chávez, y así no, si quieren meterse en la Scott, la Mineral, la Washington, está bien, que vendan comida. Como estamos diciendo, que no queremos quitarle el dinero a nadie, pero los pueden ayudar a Cina porque a Cina nadie, porque si tienen las trocas en la César Chávez, todos van a ir ahí, todos van a quedarse ahí. O estamos comiendo comida, so no los puedes quitar. Es lo que van a decir. So, food truck vendors, if by 5 o'clock, if we can help us out by actually getting off Chavez and going onto the side streets, that would help us a lot. Because that way, if Chavez is taken over, it actually prevents, from citizens from getting hit by cars going through. And then on top of that, they use that as an excuse. Well, I'm buying food here, so you can't kick me out. You gotta leave me alone. I'm buying food. So, which is absolutely right. You're buying food. We're not gonna mess with you. And that way, the food trucks don't lose any money. We don't want no one to lose money. So if they go off to the side, they can continue selling. But that way, at least they're off to the side and not on the main thoroughfare where they tend to take over. And then, yeah, that's about it. That's all Sergeant Mejia is asking for. So,
if you don't mind just translating that part of the food trucks for our business owners here.
yeah. So, lo que estamos pidiendo es que las trocas que venden comida, que si se pueden mover al lado de las calles, como en el lado de las casas, cualquier calle que ustedes decidan. Y no queremos quitarle dinero a nadie. Pueden vender su comida, pero lo que hacen cuando están en la Chávez, ahí se quedan en la calle, no ustedes, pero las personas que van,
Sí.
y luego se van moviendo en el medio de la calle y luego ahí se quedan todos. Estamos comiendo comida, no los puedes quitar. Y usan esa excusa para quedarse allí toda la noche y luego no se
sí.
van porque, estoy aquí comprando comida, no me puedes quitar. Es lo que dicen todo el tiempo.
Y es un evento, ¿verdad?
Sí, usualmente ese es su primer año estando
Sí.
ahí. This is their first year
Okay.
as food truck in that location. So,
Yeah.
so usualmente años anteriores ha habido el problema de que se juntan muchos carros ahí en esa calle principal.
Sí, sí.
So the problem has been that in previous years a lot of cars get like cluttered in that main street.
Sí, es un día nomás, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
Hay manera de movernos porque no estén ahí. Es un peligro también porque luego empieza la balacera igual.
Sí, porque también lo que van a hacer es, si hacen lo que hacen todos los años, van a quemar llanta, van
Sí, sí.
a tomarse de la,
Es un
van a
peligro
tomar la calle.
también, pues.
Luego, si pierden control, le pueden pegar a su troca y luego ¿qué?
Sí.
Si no tienen aseguranza ellos, luego usted se quedó pagando todo el bill. Y es es muchas cosas que usted tiene que hacer por lo que están haciendo ellos. So, like I told him, being his first year there, if they do take over the street like they do previous years, they tend to do burnouts, reckless driving, and then now if his truck gets hit and they don't have insurance or whatever the case may be, now he's out money, and I mean, no one wins in that situation. We don't want no one, especially first year business, getting hit by a reckless vehicle. I mean, that can be devastating for any business.
Is that going to be just for one day or for all 3 days?
So that's what I'm trying to figure out with Sergeant Mejia, because he is the main coordinator of this. I asked him, like, are we just trying to do this on the 5th, or are we going to try to do all 3 days? Is it going to be possible to do it 3 days? Probably not. Because once again, we have to also think about our resources that we have in the district.
Is it going to be controlled by the police department or by the bit,
Which parts?
the control of the street of Chavez?
That's going to be us.
The police going to be is it going to be locked down or no through or just one to certain
We're going
time?
to try to lock everything down.
Locked down, huh?
Yep.
With barriers on both ends and through some
So,
of
lo
the
que
side streets.
estamos logrando es cerrar las calles esos días, pero estamos averiguando si van a ser los 3 días que quieren cerrar la calle, nomás este domingo.
¿Hasta qué hora van a
Porque
cerrar?
lo que va a pasar es que
No sé.
Porque va a pasar este
Yo
domingo,
creo que entre las
este año un domingo.
asociaciones.
Tienen el viernes, el sábado y el domingo para hacer lo que quieran. So, eso quiere decir que tenemos 3 días que nuestro distrito tiene que tomar recursos para este evento y averiguar lo que está pasando, porque lo que pueden hacer es que este año mejor no vamos a cerrar nada con la César Chávez y se van a otro lugar.
Sí.
Pero luego tenemos que movernos todos nuestros recursos y perseguir este grupo de muchachos lo que están haciendo y continuar toda la noche hasta que se vayan. Okay, so what we have to do is try and figure out if we want to close it out for all 3 days or which day, which is the main day. Unfortunately, this year, the 5th falls on a Sunday, which means they have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to pretty much
Entonces,
protegiendo.
cuando sea así, nosotros podemos venir a trabajar normalmente, pero cuando ya miramos, cuando ya se están juntando, mejor nos vamos.
Sí, no,
Sería
sí.
una opción.
Yeah, pero si
para
veo-
no perder 3 días, a ver, pues, si no venimos un día, otro día.
No, usted puede vender los 3 días.
Ujú.
Todo lo que estamos pidiéndole es que a las 5 nomás mueva la troca al lado. Y eso, si continúes vendiendo su comida, normalmente todo, es que nomás queremos quitar todos los carros afuera de la calle César Chávez, eso es todo. De la National a la Greenfield. No queremos ningún carro ahí. Okay, eso es todo.
And
¿Va a haber permiso para las gentes que pasen, que quieran entrar a la área ahí? ¿Los van a dejar a la gente que entren o va a haber restricciones para la gente que entre a esa área?
Tráfico de pie, está bien.
No restrictions?
No, not for foot traffic.
Oh,
We're-
okay.
We just want to restrict actual...
Just vehicles
traffic.
que no pasan.
So, no va a haber restricción para las
To what-
personas
hasta
que
qué-
pueden
hasta what time?
pueden entrar a esa
Hasta que se
área.
vayan, don.
Puede
Hasta la madrugada.
Well, I know we were supposed to be here till 5:45, so it's 5:52. Vamos a estar aquí hasta las... Okay. Cualquier pregunta de nuevo que tengan, déjenos saber.
Captain Pill first. Yeah, I know. I went to 800 block 2. Yeah, I went to the wrong address because it's on the wrong flyer, the wrong address on the flyer. This is a letter from Captain Pfeiffer, and has concerns that the incidents that happened last year stem from the car show that we had last year. Let me make it very clear: we did not have a car show last year. Okay, everything that happened on Cesar Chavez happened on its own. Okay, it was spontaneous. It was promptu. It had nothing to do with the festival itself. The festival, we've done it and has been on the community for more than 50 years and has not been the problem with this. If we're comparing shootings and stuff, let's not kid ourselves. Juneteenth had 6 shootings after the festival, okay? And that's nickels and dimes as far as I'm concerned. The problem is that we have these kids who are standing out there goofing off, showing off, whatever it is they're doing, and they need some sort of guidance, some sort of enforcement. Instead, I can show you videos that even Rivera has filmed himself of police officers watching these kids doing goofy things and not bothering to get out of the car and write them a ticket. More importantly, how many tickets were issued at Cinco de Mayo that last year? Okay. So I mean that's my concern. I think that it goes both ways. You know, you want us to help, we need your help.
Okay, so what the community doesn't understand is that obviously we have policies that we have to follow, right? For the reckless driving and for, I know mopeds is the biggest thing. So for the mopeds, because I know that's one of the biggest concerns, and this is not part of Cinco, but Puerto Rican Fest is coming right after that, right? So that's gonna be one of the biggest concerns. There's nothing in our SOP says we can't chase a motorcycle, right? But we have to outweigh the risk over the reward. We chase someone on a motorcycle and the way they drive, which is 100 miles per hour through red lights. We chase, there's a high probability those individuals are probably gonna die. And if they die, now it's the cop that's in trouble. Okay? So we need to come up with a solution where the officers feel that, hey, if you chase, because the next thing you're like, the community is gonna be like, well, why did you chase him? Now he's dead. Why did the police do this?
Right.
Because that's happened. I've been to 2, and there's a community like, we want something done. We chased. Hey, why did you guys do that? Now he's dead. And now the police looks like somebody. Huh?
Or somebody innocent.
Yeah. Or now they crash into someone innocent, right? These motorcycles go over 0 to 100 in maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Some of the mopeds. Now they have the electric bikes. Electric bikes, you don't even hear them coming. I mean, 4 of them pulled next to me. I didn't even know they were there until I checked. Well, I was constantly checking my rearview mirror, and I seen them coming. Didn't even hear anything, right? So we're working with a plan with DNR. We're gonna have a DPM with DNR out here that's gonna enforce a lot more laws than we can when it comes to mopeds. So we're gonna tackle that issue with that for the community. But the problem is that we need resources. We need vehicles. District 2 doesn't have a lot of working vehicles right now, and that's due to other logistics, obviously, that our department they couldn't foresee yet, right? Because obviously we all know Ford is behind parts if you want to afford, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we don't have the vehicles, we don't have the resources for officers to hit some of these DPMs. So we're trying to work on that so we can actually tackle this situation before it gets any worse this summer and before Puerto Rican Fest. For Cinco de Mayo, we did not have the resources at all. Even with planning, some of them popped up before the day of what we planned for. Because I can tell you this much, being part of it the last couple of years, it was always like, oh, well, don't worry about it, nothing happens or anything like that. It's this way or this, you know, just do this, just do that. Every single year has been a different approach from this individual group that does this has been spontaneous, like you said. So we can plan out what we want and do as much as we can, but every year is a different that we're now have to adapt to that situation. Now, if we have 5 squads, how many squads are now going to go after a vehicle that's burning out in the middle of the street? Now you start chasing it, it loses control, like most of them did last year, and hit the curves. Now they go into a group of citizens in that group, because you can't even walk anywhere last year without bumping into a citizen, as you saw from the videos with 2 officer-involved shootings that we had last year. So now you're chasing a car, and it loses control, and you kill 4 or 5 citizens in the process. So we have to get those, the only way we can get those individuals is once they're out of that group, but they know they don't need the group. And then other stuff happened, we can address it. Our traffic safety unit was there, they were in motorcycles. It got to the point where it's so dangerous for them to even be there when they're motorcycles because there's cars swerving at them. So now you have officers on motorcycles that are getting cars pretty much within inches of hitting them. And to the point where like, hey, we gotta pull our guys out, they're gonna get hit by a car. So there's a lot of things the community's not aware of that happens that we have to look at and outweigh. So now do we chase a car that's just doing burnouts and risk hitting 5 pedestrians around the street? Mother and family showed up. There's family with like 5, 7 kids out there. Am I gonna risk one of my officers chasing a reckless vehicle doing burnout and risk that family getting hit because they decided to bring their kids out at 11 o'clock at night to watch a bunch of cars burn out? No, we're not gonna do that. So do we try to contain the madness, the craziness? Absolutely. And we try to take vehicle plates, we send tickets. So we did send citations. And a lot of times what we can do is we can issue owner's liability. Like, hey, your car was there. Well, I wasn't driving it. Well, here's your ticket. Regardless, your car was there, so here's your ticket. So we can issue owner liability all day. We can do that portion. But as far as the pursuit, arresting them, last year for Mexican Independence, when we tried arresting people, there's videos, you can go on Facebook. My officers got flags broken on their backs. They got attacked. And as soon as we did anything, the whole crowd turned on us. And there was probably like 8 officers to like 60 or 70 people. So.
Wasn't that downtown?
No, that was here. I was on Chávez again.
Okay.
Yeah, so. And they mock us, they know exactly, because we have to show more restraint than they do. Because obviously, we're officers are held to higher standards, so we have to do everything